This is Learning with Coach History. This is lesson 3 of 6 on the Cold War at home. The vocab: House Un-American Activities Committee, Hollywood 10, Blacklist, Alger Hiss, Ethel and Julius Rosenberg, Joseph McCarthy, and McCarthyism. Many Americans felt threatened by communist governments in Europe and Asia. Some felt that communists could threaten the government in the United States too. Republicans accused the Truman administration of being soft on communism. So Truman set up a loyalty review board that investigated over 3 million people. About 200 were fired. Many people felt that these investigations were unconstitutional because the accused were not allowed to see the evidence against them or to face their accusers. In 1947, Congress set up the House Un-American Activities Committee, or HUAC, to look for communists both inside and outside government. HUAC concentrated on the movie industry because of suspected communist influence in Hollywood and the belief that propaganda was getting into films. Many people were brought before HUAC. Some agreed that communists had infiltrated the movie industry. 10 people called before HUAC refused to testify. They said the hearings were unconstitutional. They were the Hollywood 10, and they were accused of disloyalty and being communists. They were sent to prison for their refusal. In response to the HUAC hearings, Hollywood executives named some 500 people they thought were communists, including the Hollywood 10. Executives refused to hire people on this blacklist. Many people's careers were ruined. In 1950, Congress passed the McCarran International Security Act. It outlawed the planning of any action that might lead to a totalitarian dictatorship in the United States. 2 spy cases added to the fear of the communism sweeping the nation. One involved State Department official Alger Hiss. A former Soviet spy accused Hiss of being a Soviet spy and giving away government documents. He claimed that documents implicated Hiss. Hiss said the documents were forgeries. Too much time had passed for Hiss to be charged with espionage. But he was convicted of perjury or for lying about the documents, and he went to jail. In 1949, the Soviet Union tested an atomic bomb. A German-born scientist admitted giving the Soviets secret information about the American bomb. He also implicated 2 Americans, Ethel and Julius Rosenberg. The Rosenbergs were members of the American Communist Party. They denied the charges of spying, but they were convicted and sentenced to death. People appealing for clemency for the Rosenbergs. They said the evidence against them was weak. The Supreme Court refused to overturn the decision. The Rosenbergs were executed in 1953. In the early 1950s, Republican Senator Joseph McCarthy claimed that communists were taking over the government. He may have been motivated by the desire to be re-elected because he blamed the Democrats for allowing this to occur. McCarthy's accusations fed on the American public's fear and suspicion of communism. McCarthy never produced any evidence to support his charges. These unsupported attacks on suspected communists became known as McCarthyism. McCarthyism also came to mean the unfair tactic of accusing people of disloyalty without producing evidence. Many Republicans encouraged McCarthy because they wanted to win the 1952 election. But some said that McCarthy was violating people's constitutional rights. In 1954, McCarthy made accusations against the U.S. Army. The Senate hearings were broadcast on national television. People watched McCarthy bully witnesses but produced no evidence. McCarthy lost public favor. The Senate criticized him for improper conduct. Communists witch hunts in the early 1950s met with much support. Many people were forced to take loyalty oaths to get jobs. States passed laws making it a crime to speak of overthrowing the government, which violated First Amendment rights.